It was a chilly autumn evening in a quiet neighborhood in Ohio when 17-year-old Emily Harris found herself home alone for the night. Her parents had gone out to attend a late dinner with friends, leaving her with strict instructions to lock the doors and stay safe. Emily didn't mind. She liked the peaceful stillness of the house when no one else was around. With her homework done, she curled up on the couch in the living room with a blanket, a big bowl of popcorn, and a thriller movie playing on the TV. The clock read a little after 9 when Emily first heard the sound. A knock at the front door, sharp and deliberate, echoed through the house. She froze, the sound of the TV suddenly fading into the background. Her parents weren't supposed to be back for hours, and she wasn't expecting anyone. For a moment, she told herself it was probably just a neighbor, maybe someone delivering mail to the wrong address. She walked cautiously to the window beside the door and pulled the curtain back just a little, enough to peek outside without being seen. No one was there. The porch was empty, bathed only in the dim glow of the overhead light. Emily frowned, her heart thumping in her chest. She shook it off, convincing herself she had imagined the knock, and went back to the couch. But before she could settle in again, the knock came back. This time it was louder, slower, and spaced out as if whoever was outside wanted her to know they weren't leaving. "Who's there?" Emily called out, her voice trembling just enough to betray her nerves. No answer. Only silence pressed against the walls of the house. Emily backed away from the door, suddenly feeling vulnerable in the big, empty home. She grabbed her phone and texted her best friend, Sarah. "Someone's knocking at my door and no one's there. I'm freaking out." Sarah replied almost immediately. "Call your parents. Or the cops if it keeps happening." Emily nodded to herself, clutching the phone like a lifeline. She was about to dial her mom's number when another sound interrupted her. This time, it wasn't at the front door. It was at the back, a faint rapping against the sliding glass door that led to the yard. Every hair on her body stood on end. Slowly, she tiptoed to the kitchen where the sliding door was. From the corner of her eye, she saw a shadow shift across the porch. Her breath caught in her throat. Someone was out there. She flicked on the backyard light, but by the time the bulb buzzed to life, the porch was empty again. Emily swallowed hard and locked the sliding door, checking it twice just to be sure. Her parents' voices replayed in her head. "Always keep the doors locked. Don't open up for strangers." Emily retreated to the living room, her phone still in hand. She considered calling the police but hesitated. What if it was just some prank? Maybe kids from the neighborhood messing with her. She didn't want to seem paranoid. 10 minutes passed, then 20. Just as she was starting to calm down, the knocking started again. This time it wasn't at the doors. It was on the windows. A light tapping, first from the window near the dining room, then from the hallway, then from upstairs. As if someone or something was circling the house, testing every possible way inside. Emily's breath came in shallow gasps as she crept to the staircase, listening. Her mind raced. Maybe it was a burglar. Maybe someone was waiting for her to panic, to open the wrong door or window. She dialed her mom's number, but it went to voicemail. She tried her dad's, same thing. Her hands shook as she scrolled to 911, but before she could press the call button, her phone buzzed with an incoming message. It was from an unknown number. The message read, "Why won't you open the door?" Emily dropped the phone as if it had burned her hand. Her pulse hammered in her ears. Whoever was outside knew she was home, knew she was scared. She picked the phone back up with trembling fingers and blocked the number. But no sooner had she done that than another text arrived, this time from a different number. "We can see you." Emily's eyes darted around the room, scanning every window. She lunged forward and turned off the TV, plunging the house into silence. Her reflection stared back at her faintly in the glass panes, making it impossible to tell if anyone was truly out there. Summoning her courage, she went to the hallway closet and pulled out the aluminum baseball bat her dad kept there. Her hands gripped it tightly as she stood in the center of the living room, waiting for the next sound. Minutes ticked by. The silence was deafening. Then came a single knock at the front door again, slow, heavy, and deliberate. Emily's resolve finally broke. She dialed 911, her voice shaking as she whispered, "Someone's trying to get into my house. Please send help." The dispatcher's calm voice guided her through her panic, telling her to stay on the line, stay quiet, and not open the door under any circumstances. Emily crouched low behind the couch, her phone pressed to her ear, her knuckles white around the bat. The knocking stopped. Then footsteps, soft but unmistakable, moved away from the porch. Emily held her breath, straining to hear. The dispatcher assured her officers were on their way. Minutes felt like hours. The silence stretched, broken only by the faint creaks of the house settling. Then suddenly there was the unmistakable sound of a doorknob rattling, the back door this time. Whoever it was hadn't left. Emily clamped her hand over her mouth to stifle a sob. The dispatcher urged her to stay hidden, reminding her that help was close. And then, mercifully, red and blue lights flashed through the front windows. A police siren wailed as a car pulled into the driveway. Emily bolted upright, relief flooding her chest. She heard officers shouting outside, their boots pounding against the porch. By the time they entered the house, whoever had been circling her home was gone. The police searched the area, checking every lock, every shadowed corner of the yard, but found no sign of anyone. One of the officers, a tall man named Officer Daniels, spoke gently to her. "You did the right thing calling us. Whoever it was, they didn't get inside. But you weren't imagining it. We found fresh footprints in the mud around your windows." Emily shivered at his words. Her parents rushed home not long after, shaken but grateful that she was unharmed. The police promised to patrol the area more frequently and advised the family to install a security system. That night, Emily lay awake in her room, her parents downstairs for comfort, the house locked up tight. She couldn't stop replaying the messages in her mind, the ones that had chilled her to the bone. The numbers had been untraceable, the police said, likely spoofed. And while the knocking had stopped, Emily knew one thing for certain. Whoever had come to her door that night hadn't just been passing by. They had chosen her house, knowing she was alone. And she couldn't shake the feeling that someday they might come back.